Wizard of West LA here. I wanted to make a short video to show you about 3D printing the files that are available on the website regarding the headbands for the face shields, and there's another file on there that are the washers. Due to a lot of people being new to 3D printing, I wanted to give you a quick rundown of do's and don'ts, different things, and a lot of mistakes I've made, and I have some good pictures of some mistakes. So let's go through that. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel, because there's a lot of interesting stuff and also some extra things coming up really soon that you will enjoy. So let's take a look. Now for my 3D printer, I'm using this program called Ultimaker Cura, and I drag the STL file that you get on the website directly on there. I move it up a little bit because on that base or the plate that you see on there, I have a little bit of warpage. Now here's an important thing. For essence of speed, I print on low quality. You can see it has super high and a lot of different qualities, which is good. So I slice it, and that makes all the little levels that will be printed. Now this new update is neat. It has a preview function. Now that is a trick I'll show you in a little while of you can divide that in half. I've got it to 2 hours 45 seconds. So let's look at the preview, what that does. This is a really neat thing on here, and you can scroll down on the bottom. It'll show you the whole product, and you can scroll down on the right side. You can see it shows you the different levels that will be printed, and then that part is, it gives you a little diagram of the head. You can see where the print head is going and distributing your filament right onto the base. So you can get a look at how the thing is doing, and you can look at final products and look at particular levels. I find it pretty useful taking a look at things, and you can also see some parts, if they're over a certain degree, you're going to need something called supports. But we will be going through 3D printing in another video. So I just wanted to give you a little tour of what that does. It's very interesting looking at the levels and then especially the final products. You can see if there's going to be any problems in your work. Now the next thing I do use, don't laugh, but it's fast and it's easy. I do use Tinkercad, and this is the washer file. I put this on Tinkercad so you can see the dimensions of the washers. And what I did on here is I clicked on one, and you can see the sizes of the, there, I zoomed it in. You can see the diameter I used, which works out just fine. You can see the height, and you can see the inner diameter of the washer. And that is going to be useful because when you print, a lot of times the filament will shrink a little bit or sometimes enlarge. That happens. It also depends on the temperature of the room too. So this is helpful to see that. And feel free to also put that STL and modify that and make it a little bit larger, a little smaller, whatever your needs are. You can modify that and download it again and dump that on your printer. So what I did is, after I have those files, and I did this again so you can see it, I just put that, dragged and dropped it onto my software again to make another file to print, and I do drag it forward. I always do that to avoid any problems. And what I do is I slice this, and this doesn't take that long to print, so that's a nice thing about it. Let's see, I run it at low quality because of the time involved to have to get all these shields done. If you put super quality, which you see up there, it may take all night to print those, believe it or not. But it leaves you an idea. If you have a really good project that you want to look nice, there's all different levels. So you can see the amount. Now, printer speed. Beware of this one on this printer. If you play with that, sometimes the filament, you will hear a jamming sound because it will try to shove in too much filament before it prints. So I found 25 on my printer, which is an Ender 3, works just fine. But I will show you something to accelerate that reliably. So this is about 1 hour 26 minutes. It does it a little faster than that. I will show you a little trick that I do. Now on my printer, I'm able to adjust that speed where you see FR 100%. If I turn the knob, it will speed up the process, and I found a reliable setting of around 200 to 220%. And this is through experimentation. There is no solid rule for this. And you have to be careful how fast you go. If you want it to go really fast, there are a lot of fine adjustments you can do, but for essence of speed, I find about 200 to 225 works just fine. Let me show you an example. This is an example of a headband, and you can see all the filaments where I tried all different speeds. I tried 500, 500, 400, and you can see what it did at 500. You can see the levels that exist from the different speed changes. So I wanted to experiment and see what happens, but that is what will come out if you do it too fast without all the fine adjustments. So now let's print a headband. So now we have the last step. We have the headband, which I am using a black surface because these are printed white. There's no time to spray paint them. I want to get them done as quickly as I can. So we have the headbands, and each headband, this is as you can see from the video, that's the front side, this is the back. Each headband has these extensions on it to hold the plastic front shield, the see-through transparency that we're using. So we have the headband, and then we have the see-through, we have the transparency, and you have to use it in a landscape. I am going to order ones, I'm going to see if I can order some ones that are a lot larger. These are the ones that we are using in landscape mode. And what also helps is a template. And this is the template we're using, this side. So you line up the paper and just punch the holes. It's really simple. And I have it posted on my website. These help a lot. Rather than just sticking them on, it's much easier to use these little washers. You can see these right here. So it's much easier to put the washers on. You put the front on, and then you put the washer on top. So that works out great. The other thing we're using is, due to supplies, as it's difficult to get some supplies, I'm using this, and it seems to work really well. Standard silicone, and I also noticed this, which is really useful, 7-year mold free. So it's actually very clean, and it sets overnight. And this is pretty durable because I've made fish tanks out of this, so it does hold a lot. And remember, this screen is not going to hold 100 pounds. So what we do is we mark off the holes using the template. And then we punch them. And now you fit this, you have to kind of push them into the holes a little bit. And there we go. You have, there you go. You've now put the clear on the front. Now we apply the washers on it. But before we do that, after that is applied, now we put some silicone on it, or you can choose to clean the top. Now you apply the washers. Now for the back of it, we have one last step. The last step is 3 rubber bands for the back part of the headband. And in this case, we just tie the rubber bands together. 3 is comfortable. And you just put those on the end. And you put another one on the end. So that is what the finished headband should look like. And let that sit overnight and just have the 3D printer print another one and just keep assembling them. As supplies, you will be able to determine whatever supplies are available, like I did on this. The rubber bands are available, but I did find a seamstress to make nice headbands in the back, which are coming real soon. I will put that on a video. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. and also subscribe to the channel. All of that helps with the YouTube algorithm so you can see what is available and other programs that we will be posting. And again, thank you for subscribing because it helps me do more of the videos, and I love to help out as much as I can. And believe me, as a couple people have picked up shipments of these and other things I am working on, they are very, very happy, very, very thankful for it. So if you can do it, definitely help out as much as you can. And I'm using as much as I know about technology to see what I can do to help out during this crisis and during this very interesting time in all of our history. So remember, most important thing, keep on learning.